Greetings and blessings, loves. Today I have for you the Galactic Codex. Let's just go ahead and get into it. As beings within the Galactic Federation have evolved spiritually and aligned themselves in union with the Ascended Masters, they have discovered an inner codex that regulates all relationships between beings of light and their relations toward the dark forces and occupied planets. This codex is called the Galactic Codex, and it represents the legal and ethical foundation for all actions of the Confederation in this and other galaxies. The Galactic Codex is not a rigid set of external laws, but a systemized code of inner ethics shared by all beings of light. These principles are accepted through free will because they reflect each being's inner truth and natural alignment with Source. What follows is a rendering of the Galactic Codex in a form understandable to an awakened being within human society. And it's 515. Section 1. The Law of Divine Grace. Each sentient being has an inalienable and unconditional right to a positive life experience. To understand Section 1, it must be recognized that suffering, pain, and sacrifice have no intrinsic value in an enlightened galactic society liberated from the influence of dark forces and other cosmic maladies. The belief that pain and struggle are necessary for growth was programming imposed by the dark forces to more easily enslave populations on occupied planets. A positive life experience for every sentient being in an liberated universe is guaranteed through each being's interconnection with Source, and reinforced by the abilities of the Ascended Masters, whose mastery over redeemed matter allows them to assist all beings in their return to Source and to provide the necessities of life. Life was never intended to be hardship and struggle, but a journey of joy, creativity, and expansion. The subsections of Section 1 regulate all life and relationships in the liberated universe, ensuring harmony and preventing conflict. Section 1/1. Right to physical and spiritual abundance. Each sentient being has an inalienable and unconditional right to physical and spiritual abundance. This guarantees a positive life experience for all beings in a liberated universe. The Ascended Masters provide all the necessities of living, as well as physical, spiritual, and aesthetic richness through their mastery of redeemed matter. Section 1-2. Right to ascension. Each sentient being has an inalienable and unconditional right to ascension. The Ascended Masters use their advanced understanding of the spiritual technology of ascension and the electric fire of redemption to assist all beings who freely choose ascension. Section 1-3. Right to sacred union and soul family alignment. Each sentient being has an inalienable and unconditional right to merge with other beings in accordance with their position within the soul family mandala. This subsection regulates relationships within soul families, ensuring the reunion of complementary polarities, twin souls, soulmates, and the harmonious alignment of all beings regardless of their stage of development or external circumstances. Section 1-4, right to all information. Each sentient being has an inalienable and unconditional right to all information. This guarantees access to all information necessary to understand one's role within the universe. The broader evolutionary context and the knowledge required for conscious decision-making, growth, and well-being. Such information is provided by the Ascended Masters or beings being overseeing the evolution of various civilizations. Section 1-5, the right to freedom. Each sentient being has an inalienable and unconditional right to freedom. This ensures unlimited potential for the growth and experience. Since all beings in a liberated universe create only in alignment with positive principles, the freedom of one never infringes upon the freedom of another. There's a bird out here. Section 2, the law of dividing the conflicting parties. Each sentient being has an inalienable and unconditional right to protection from the negative actions of other sentient beings. This section governs regions of the universe that have been liberated from dark forces but are not yet fully integrated into the Galactic Confederation. The forces of light are required to separate conflicting parties, to prevent mutual harm, and to mediate until resolution is achieved. This law is frequently applied to end wars and armed conflicts. Section 3, the law of balance. Any sentient being who chooses to live and act in opposition to the Galactic Codex and who refuses or is unable to balance the consequences of past actions shall be returned to the central sun for reconstructuring. This section regulates interactions between the forces of light and the forces of darkness. Defeated beings aligned with the darkness are offered the opportunity to accept the Galactic Codex, correct past actions to the best of their ability, and live in alignment with light. Those who accept are forgiven and may join the Confederation. Those who refuse or are unable to accept are taken to the central sun, where their personalities and soul structures are dissolved by the electric fire, and their divine spark begins a new evolutionary cycle. Section 3, the law of intervention. The Galactic Confederation has an inalienable and unconditional right to intervene wherever the Galactic Codex is violated, regardless of local laws. This section defines the policy of the forces of light regarding occupied planets and civilizations. The Confederation reserves the right to intervene in any area where the Codex is violated irrespective of local consent. Peaceful means of education, guidance, and regulation are always employed first. If violations reach a critical threshold, military intervention is authorized. In cases of direct occupation by dark forces, hostages are often used to delay liberation. Earth represents such a case, requiring careful negotiation and strategy. This situation is now in resolution, and planetary liberation is underway. Section 3-1. Right to call for assistance. Each sentient being has an inalienable and unconditional right to call upon the Galactic Confederation, and the Confederation has the right and responsibility to respond, regardless of local laws. This provides the legal foundation for assistance of beings under dark force operation. The forces of light continually act to improve living conditions wherever possible. Section 3-2. The right to enforce the Galactic Codex. The Galactic Confederation has an inalienable and unconditional right to implement the Galactic Codex, including the use of military force when necessary. This authorizes the liberation of occupied planets, removal or neutralization of dark force representatives, and the guidance of liberated civilizations into alignment with the Codex. Humanity's historical inability to resolve systematic conflict and abuse demonstrates the necessity of higher guardianship. The Confederation assists in removing dark governance structures established long ago, including those originating in Atlantis. With this, the Galactic Codex shall become the universal ethical foundation throughout the universe, and darkness shall cease to exist. Thank you, beloveds. I want to note here that I did not change, no alterations have been made to the principle, structure, intent, or meaning of this codex, but I have refined it for grammatical clarity, consistent language, standardized terminology, and some of this is circulating online, this quote-unquote Galactic Codex, and some, wow, it's 543, I have 65%. In some of the copies circulating online, they use the term unalienable. Well, I use the term inalienable, and I use it consistently throughout this edition in place of the alternative spelling. This choice reflects the legal, ethical, and philosophical standards and more accurately conveys the intended meaning. I'm not going to read all the notes that I wrote for the sake of time, but I love you all so much. I have made a decree that goes along with these Galactic Codexes, so be sure to check that out if you want to come into agreement with the Galactic Codex. And I love you, I love you, I love you.